Alright, so we got the engine in. For the most part, everything's buttoned up, but I'm still using my front mount. Yev's car used to be a stock side mount. So I'm changing up my hot pipe. I had some extra leftover bends. This is a 45 to a 90. And it's just going to go straight down into my coupler. So I'm building this. And yeah, I still gotta put an 8-inch piece of just straight 2.5 aluminum pipe in here, and then I gotta weld everything together and figure out if I want to run the blow valve. And then after that, all that's left is I need to do my exhaust because the downpipe is different, so it doesn't bolt up to my exhaust. And I need to wire up my gauges and just plug in the ECU and hope she cranks.
Yeah.
So for reference, this is the bottom mount hot pipe that I'm doing. This is my turbo sat like in the center of my manifold, so in the runners it was in between 2 and 3. While on the bottom mount, the turbo housing is clocked upwards, so the pipe all of a sudden is a lot higher than when I was running it down by my frame rail. And just the turbo is in between 3 and 4 runner, so this pipe is too short and then this needs to be extended. I had extra material, so may as well just get back to welding and having fun. So we just decontaminated everything, the rods, the tungsten, the aluminum pipe in itself. Now it's time to start welding, bud. I am not a professional welder by any means. Any means. So, judge me all you want.
You got the bass.
Yeah.
Did you turn on the light?
Yep.
Hey, how that noodle looks, it's so long.
Huh?
It looks so ugly. It's so long. It definitely ain't gonna win a beauty contest, but it'll hold 8 pounds. I just finished welding this up. I obviously don't have a bead roll here. This here is a bead roll, so your coupler doesn't slide off. So I like to put tacks. I know some people do a full bead of weld, which is like super cool, mad props. To me that's a waste of time. I don't run a crazy amount of boost. Put in 4 tacks, perfect. On today's agenda, shit, that'll do. On today's agenda, we are going to be making stainless intake pipe. I have the OEM one that was on Yev's car. This is the OEM SR intake. Kind kind of sits in there. But I have extra 2.5 inch piping. I haven't fabricated in like the longest time. So I want to make a stainless pipe that comes out of here. It'll have to be pie cuts, which cool, but it's a lot of work for an engine I'm just borrowing. But the main reason I'm doing this is sound. For some reason, like to me at least, I feel like I'd hear more turbo noises when it's in a metal pipe. Like I feel like the echo would be better than inside the rubber one, because rubber kind of reduces noise. I've never experimented the difference. So yeah, let's get on to it. Alright, so for pie cuts, there's a line inside the pipe. You can't see it, but it's like a welded seam throughout the whole pipe, so I'm using that as my straight edge. And then I did half the pipe, so this is 1.5 inches here, and 1.5 inches here. I'm cutting this pipe at 15 degrees. I flip it so that this line will be on this side, and then I cut it 15 degrees too, and that gives me a piece that looks like this. The reason for the line is so that it's even. The tallest part, so the highest part and the shortest part are exactly 180 degrees from each other. For the most part, they're 15 degrees and 15 degrees, so they're 30 degree pies. But other ones are a 15 degree and then a flat, like that one right there that I'm pointing to. And that's because when you cut a pipe at an angle, it becomes a bigger diameter. So to weld a section of straight cut piece of stainless, I need it to butt up to a straight cut piece of pie cut. So that's the reason for that. But yeah, let's go ground these down and start putting them in place. I just degreased all of this, and I'm gonna tack up. So these are my 2 piles of pie cuts. I'm gonna tack the first 2, the one where the coupler slides onto, and then the 30 degree pie cut, because the last piece I'm gonna have to put in the car, and I'm gonna have to clock it to wherever I'd like it to be. So let's tack these up. Alright, so we got all the pie cuts kind of how we want them. This is the location of the intake. It sits right underneath the hot pipe that we made. Overall, it's not bad. There's barely any room for it to actually sit underneath here, but this looks halfway decent in my opinion. And yeah, this isn't going to turn out too clean, but it looked nice. Here's my exhaust. I just pulled it off the car. I put this section of metal pipe in here. I used to have a cat here and a different exhaust flange, gasket flange. So yeah, this is definitely a work of art. Well, like, my car is low, so as soon as I lowered it, I made this exhaust so it tucks up as high as possible. Yeah, hole there, hole there, hole there. This was from California actually, because of my exhaust. It snapped the welds off that was there before, so I had to weld this under the car. And yeah, this is right next to the rear subframe. Also scrapes all of that, and I squished this. Is this? Yeah. Long story short, this is where my drive shaft would normally be, so I cut it up and smashed that in too because it'd rub here. So that also rubs and stuff. And then this sits against the rear subframe, which I notched the rear subframe. And then I also smashed this pipe, as you can see. I smashed it, cut it, welded it, smashed it. Smashed this section, and then it just goes to these little glass pipes that I made. So yeah, it's just mild steel, 2.5 inch. I like my car quiet, so I used to run a cat here. but I'm not running a cat because with the Ev's engine and stuff, I'm hoping that this is quiet enough, because this is 2.5 inch and it goes from a 3-inch downpipe to a 2.5 inch. That should muffle it because it created a little bit of back pressure. And then I got a muffler which doesn't even count as a muffler anymore, but whatever. Yeah, that's how an exhaust should look for a slammed car. Let's weld up all of these holes, weld up this pipe that I got in here, and toss it back on. Alright, so I just got the gauges in. I got a new one here. I'm running oil pressure. I used to only run, well, I ran 4 gauges. I ran 3 Defi reps here, and I ran a AEM wideband. I got rid of the AEM wideband because that shit's hideous. So now I have oil pressure here because it's Yev's engine and it's like most important thing is oil pressure. And then I got boost, oil temperature, and water temperature. It looks pretty sweet, but I need to put my new dashboard in because my hood fell on this one when it was out of the car. So it's got a big chunk missing here. And then with the Defi gauges, I cut around them to make them sit flat into the dashboard. And these gauges, the outside diameter is a little bit smaller than the Defi's, so now it shows the rough cuts. Especially this one. This one's really bad. All that's left is I need to put oil in the car, coolant, and it should crank over. And hopefully it starts. I don't see why it shouldn't. I've never seen these gauges. Ooh. They're working. Definitely working. Neutral. Right. Oil pressure light. It's telling me we got oil pressure. So, let's put the calves back in. Let's see if she starts. Alright. It runs.